Hey guys, and welcome to Module 1. I wanted to spend a few moments talking to you about the course content in Module 1 to kind of just introduce it to you and help you familiarize with it. So for this week, you guys are going to be reading Chapter 1 and Chapter 3, and you guys are going to be learning about the foundations of early childhood development. You guys are going to learn about developmentally appropriate practices. You guys are going to learn about the Naeyc Standards, which at this point you should probably already know, but you're going to be reviewing. There's now 7 Naeyc Standards for professional preparation. So in this module, you're going to really look at the roles you have as an early childhood educator. So a lot of you guys know your role is to be a teacher. That's pretty much a given. You're supposed to teach the child development domains, but there's other roles that you have. You also have the role of a researcher. And that doesn't just mean research as in, going to school and researching a paper, but that means researching your children and learning more about them, learning why they do what they do, talking to their families, talking to the child themselves to try to figure out why they do what they do and how you can help them the best. And that goes along with being another role, the lifelong learner. Even if you're not in school, because eventually you guys are all going to graduate, there's other ways to be a lifelong learner. One of them, which you guys will see in the syllabus, is extra credit if you join the National Association of the Education of Young Children, Naeyc. You get the Journal of Young Children or Teaching Young Children, whichever you choose. So this is an awesome journal, and it's just like journal articles you would read when you look up in the library, but it gives you, like right here, life and death in nature, children and science, outdoor play, cultivating bilingualism. It keeps me personally up to date because I'm no longer practicing early childhood. I'm no longer working with young children, but this keeps me abreast of the latest research. And as teachers, we are lifelong learners. We're always learning something new because things are always changing. I mean, think about I'll give you an example. When I was born, my mom and her midwife were smoking cigarettes together in the hospital. And now, that would never happen because research has come out that have shown that's unhealthy, and now you have tobacco-free campuses. You guys might remember when when you're learning how to write, nobody ever taught me how to write. It was just pick up the pencil and start, making circles or lines, but then when I went to college and I was working on my bachelor's in early childhood, they actually taught me, because research has shown that there's a certain way to hold a writing utensil, and that is 2 and 1, and to pinch the bottom and push it back. And that's the proper way to write, to teach a child to write without putting stress. See, I write like this, and you guys can probably see it looks like my hand's about to burst. So research is always changing, so we've got to be on top of that. Lastly, a really, really big part you guys are going to talk about, you're going to learn about developmentally appropriate practice, which you should have already heard about that in some of your classes. But developmentally appropriate practice is a term coined by Naeyc, which is the National Association of the Education of Young Children. And what this says is that we base our practices on 3 things. 1, child development. So what is appropriate for young children? And I will tell you, of course, I don't have the a good cover to show you, but Milestones of Child Development. Sorry, my cover's ripped off because this thing is very loved. Milestones of Child Development. What do the standards, what do the research-based standards say that children should be learning at a particular age? 2, what is the individual capable of? They may be the oldest or the youngest, or they may have a dad that's deployed right now. They may have parents that never let them touch scissors, so they don't even know what to do with scissors. But what does the individual child capable of? And lastly, what is their social and cultural background? Meaning, their socioeconomic status. What are they capable of doing? What are they capable of doing culturally? I once had a little girl who literally came straight out of Mexico to my class, and when I usually would get a new student in my 3-year-old class, it would take them a few days to learn how to fit their crib mattress over their their cot for nap time. And I remember this little girl from Mexico, before I even turned my head, she had already thrown all of her stuff away, her lunch stuff, without being told, washed her hands, and then she made her bed completely without any help, just she did it. And so that's an example of cultural backgrounds being different. It was just a really cool experience for me. So you guys are going to read about that, and then you're going to do a really cool culminating assessment. Once this module is over, you're actually going to pretend that like you are teaching other teachers, because as you are going to learn later on in this class, there is licensing standards that say you don't necessarily have to have college to teach early childhood. So you are going to pretend that you are schooling other early childhood educators on the importance of early childhood and what developmentally appropriate practice is, and you're going to create a PowerPoint presentation for that. So you get to let your creative juices flow. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have. All right, so that's it. I will be talking to you guys soon. Enjoy Module 1.